Well, switching gears, ICE announcing the arrest of multiple Afghan nationals released into the United States by the Biden administration with convictions for crimes including kidnapping and child abuse. Joining me now is Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. Well, Senator, thank you for coming in, first of all. Once again, these are the worst of the worst. This is exactly what Donald Trump said on the campaign trail he was going to do, and gosh darn it, he did it, and he is doing it. And what I'm surprised about is anybody surprised about it.
Right.
But what do we do with these people that were let in, they weren't vetted, they were given parole, so according to the old Biden administration folks, they are legal, when in fact they shouldn't be?
Well, the truth of the matter is they were let in illegally. The humanitarian parole process that the Biden administration exploited with these open border Democrats was meant to, you would have an individual review. So if somebody comes from a certain country and you wanted to grant parole status, they're supposed to be given an individual review, a case-by-case basis. That didn't happen. Biden had whole swaths of people, because they were from one particular country, come en masse. And that's why you have tens of thousands of people who are here now from Afghanistan, and that's just one country where this happened. So not only did you have 20 million people come here illegally, you had what was purported to be a legal immigration system where taxpayers flew them in, they're released into the United States of America. We have no idea who these people are, David. We don't know their records. They come from countries that don't even have that stuff. And this was this suicidal empathy of the Biden administration that has wreaked havoc on our communities. So there needs to be a pause on all of this. The president's done that. There needs to be a thorough vetting of the people who are here that we can find. And then, you know, if they don't meet that process, they got to go back. They got to go back. And so it's been a total abuse of the system. The
president wants to put a pause on immigration. He thinks it's just, I mean, this is what happened in the beginning of the century. We had the beginning of the previous century, in the 1900s, we had this huge influx of immigration. We did have a pause of a number of decades to give those folks a chance to assimilate, to appreciate the values that we were born with, that this country was born with, and that has created the prosperity we have. The president seems to think it's time, and at least a small pause in order to get the worst of the worst out. And he has every right to do so. I'm going to read from the Immigration and Nationality Act. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the U.S. would be detrimental to the interests of the U.S., he may, by proclamation, and for such a period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens. So he has the right to do this. Is Congress going to object in any way if he does?
I would hope not. I'm sure the radical left that now dominates the Democrat Party will object because President Trump's doing it. But, you know, as a sovereign country, we have the right, as any country does, quite frankly, to control who comes in and how many. And if, you know, people need to be sent back, or if you're overstaying your visa, you got to go home. We have a right to go do that. I think that's been lost, David, in this discussion over the last 10, 15, 20 years, where the Democrats, they don't actually believe in borders at all. They think they're arbitrary lines on a map that anybody can come here for any particular reason. And that's not really been the history of this country. And no sane country would have an immigration policy where you have no idea who people are that are coming in. And by the way, there's nothing wrong. We shouldn't be made to feel guilty by the idea that maybe the ability to assimilate into this country should be a factor. Like, we are a country, and we are, you know, a great country, the greatest country in the history of the world. We have the ability to make those determinations. It's going to take the political will, just like it's going to take the political will to support ICE agents who are doing their jobs to get people out of this country that are here illegally.
You know, speaking of the worst, there's this incredible move by some of your colleagues in D.C., Democrats almost exclusively, but to create sympathy for members of the cartel, the drug cartel, who've been shot up trying to deliver deadly packages to the United States. We had Jim Himes, a congressman from, I believe he's from the state of Connecticut, yesterday speaking about these people as if they're shipwrecked sailors. I want to play that and get your response. Roll tape.
Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. Bad guys, but attacking shipwrecked sailors.
Well, there was a time when Democrats had no problem with the word narco-terrorists. I'm going to play a tape of Joe Biden many years ago talking about them. Roll that.
We think we should do more to stem the flow of drugs across our borders, and we think we should go one step further. Let's go after the drug lords where they live, with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
Well, they said it then. They can't say it now, can they?
Well, that was before the woke mind virus ate their brains, David. I'm sorry to say. That is not the modern Democrat Party, whose only guiding principle at this point is to oppose anything that President Trump wants to do. The fact of the matter is, it's very clear under core Article 2 powers as commander-in-chief, the president has the ability to blow up narco-terrorists and their shipments that are meant to poison 100 million or 100,000 Americans every single year. That's the truth. And now you might want to have a policy debate about whether or not that's the right thing to do or not. I happen to believe that we've been talking for a very long time about the fentanyl deaths that happen in Missouri and all across this country, and we finally have a president that's committed to making sure that our people are protected, and in our own hemisphere, we're actually going to take care of business. And so they might whine about it, but I think ultimately, honestly, what this really is, it's an ongoing effort to undermine Pete Hegseth, who they didn't want in the first place. They keep swinging and missing on all these allegations time after time. It's the same old playbook. It didn't work then, and it's not going to work now.
Senator Eric Schmitt, pleasure to have you on, sir. Thank you so much.